Patrick Mullins joins us again for the weekend review. Patrick, let's start with the Bobby Joe Chase. This is traditionally a very good Grand National pointer, and Nick Rocket took the step up in his stride. He must be a tough horse to follow that Thursday's win.
He is. It was, look, we think for the Grand National you need kind of miles in their legs, so that's why we got him out again. He had 30 days to recover, but it was a big performance he put in Gorn. But I think what the difference in this race, I think is a great advantage, is that it was quite slowly ran, turned into a sprint, and the ground on the chase track in Fairyhouse wasn't too bad. I think they were hitting speeds of over 35 mile an hour down to the last. So from a point of view, they didn't get hard races, even though it was a tight finish, and to get the win was fantastic. But just to get another run under his belt, to get those miles in his legs for the national, that was the main objective. But to win as he did was an added bonus.
And he reversed the form, obviously, from the Irish Grand National last year with Intense Raffles, who followed him home at the weekend. Is Nick Rocket then still an improving horse, do you think?
Definitely. Look, he was obviously a novice last year when he was running in the Irish National and the Bet365. Now, look, he was getting £3 off Intense Raffles. I think he's going to be giving him weight in Aintree, so he is going to be worse off. But it's going to be a very different race. Like I said, it was they hacked around, they sprinted home, and I think everyone went home happy. I think the second horse connections will be delighted with their horses run as well. But I think you couldn't be happier with Nick Rocket's preparation for the Grand National this year.
And on the national, obviously last year's entry winner, Am Maximus, he had to be, he was a non-runner on the weekend. Have you got a sort of short update on him? How is he?
Yeah, look, we're happy with him. I don't think it's going to be keep him out of action for very long. Whether we can get another run into him, we'll have to see. We'd like to, I'd imagine. But no, we don't see him being, we don't see him being a doubt for Aintree at the moment. We hope to get him back riding during the week and see whether we can find another race for him or not.
Yeah. And what about the mare Spindleberry? She beat a good horse of Gavin Cromwell's Bioluminescence, and she did it in pretty good style in the end, quite easily.
She did. Look, again, she was getting a huge amount of weight off Bioluminescence, who was carrying a penalty for winning the Grade 2 in Limerick at Christmas. Again, they went kind of steady, it turned into a bit of a sprint. Look, she has a great affinity with Fairyhouse. She won her maiden hurdle there. She was second in the Grade 1 mares novice hurdle there last year behind Jade the Grugy. Now she won there again in this race. So, look, I think Willie's leaning towards perhaps going back to Fairyhouse again for the Willow Worm, the 2.5 mile Grade 1, taking on the Geldings. I think that's where he's leaning at the moment. But there are other options for her as well. But I think the way Willie's thinking is she seems to like Fairyhouse, and timing wise, it seems to work well too.
Yeah, and the team for the Paddy Power Mares Chase at Cheltenham seems sort of strong enough maybe at the moment. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, look, you can never have a too strong a team, but she does only have the 2 runs. I know she had a point-to-point run as well, but it is hard for novice mares to go and take on open mares. If you wouldn't really do it with Geldings. It's just the way that the program is in Cheltenham.
Yeah, talk to me about the bumper then. You rode Arslan, beaten into third by the stablemate, Kaiser Ball. This looked like quite a good race. How did it feel, Patrick, on the day?
We went a proper gallop. Now, look, it was the ground wasn't it wasn't nice ground because it was all kind of old and tacky, but there wasn't much depth to it. And the time was 4 minute 5, which is not a bad time, and showed the ground wasn't too heavy. It was significantly faster than the 2 maiden hurdles. We went a real strong gallop from the offset. The first and second sat last, the second last. But I thought it was a real good performance from Kaiser Ball because he was and a very good ride from Thomas Costello. He's not a simple horse to ride. He can be quite keen. Thomas got him switched off. He got him settled. He got a bit keen, maybe halfway, and Thomas got him to drop off again. He came widest of all. He took his time. When he's given him a squeeze, he's ran away and won well. I mean, the second horse I think has real good form. Barry Connell is very happy with him. And Arzan, I think Arzan might just have got tired. And look, his pedigree is Wootton Bassett and American Flat Horse, so maybe he's going to want proper go ground. But I was a little bit disappointed with Arslan, but we did run into a little bit of trouble at the top of the straight. We might have been second, but we wouldn't have got near the winner.
And Kaiser Bowl's actually related to a few decent horses as well. 50 Ball, Gary Moores, and a few others in the pedigree. Are there plans, immediate plans for him at all, or are we just sort of sitting tight and seeing for now?
I don't know what the plans are. We have to talk to the Costellos and see what they want to do, where they want to go. There's no immediate plan. Look, you could obviously go back. There's a winner's bumper back in Fairyhouse at Easter, so that could be one option. Whether he goes to Cheltenham, I'm not sure. Possibly. I know Fernie Hollow won that bumper and went on and won in Cheltenham. Slightly different. Fernie Hollow had a point run and 2 runs already that season, so slightly different. But that can be done also. And yeah, great pedigree. A lot of flat speed in the pedigree as well. Nom de la, his sire is closely related to Nickname and No Risk at All. So look, the Costellos are very shrewd, and they've found, looks like they found another good one.
Absolutely, yeah. And all 3 horses ran well from the ad at Naas testing conditions on Sunday, wasn't it? But Calix de la Barrière winning the maiden hurdle.
Yeah, very different ground. Much wetter, much looser, but much harder work. Constant rain during the day and a huge shower then between, I think, the 4th and 5th race. He ended up calling off the chases. Look, Calix, he's a horse that works very well. He's a Galloway. He won in Bannerove and good ground. And, you know, you saw we put the hood and a tongue tie on him to try help him relax. I don't think he's a really heavy ground horse. We're hoping that he's the type of horse that when he gets nicer ground in the spring, he'll improve dramatically, we hope. And I think the more racing he does, he should settle better and jump probably more efficiently as well. But I'd be a horse that I think he's better than the bare form of his run so far.
And this week, Patrick, finally, we've got the Cheltenham Festival weights obviously being released. Is there one horse that you're going to scan down the list when you see the weights and think, wonder what the British handicapper has given our horse in one of these handicaps at Cheltenham? Is there one horse you can share with readers that might be worth keeping an eye on in the handicaps?
Sure. Look, it's hard to know this at this stage. But probably Ethical Diamond is a horse we've always thought that has an awful lot of ability. Now, maybe it just turns out he is a flat horse and good ground flat horse at that. But he could be interesting. Yeah.
In the county hurdle, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on him. Thanks as ever for your time. Cheers, Patrick.
Thanks, Pat.